back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and we're all going to go up to Traverse City right now, and we're going to spend a little time with the president of and CEO of Traverse City Tourism, Trevor Tkach. And Trevor, as always, it is great to see you, and I always know you're going to be smiling. I can't imagine a more wonderful place on earth to represent than where you are.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I've won a lottery having a job like this. It's fun to talk about. It's an easy destination to pitch. I mean, we all have our challenges and our destinations, and Traverse City is no different. So it's not all rosy, but boy, I do feel pretty lucky to have this role.
Well, and I didn't mean to infer that it was an easy job. It's not an easy job because sometimes it's like no parking at the mall. Sometimes you get so busy or whatever that causes other problems. But so let's talk a little bit about your coming to a closure winter tourism season. How did that go?
For us, it went very well, but it was a challenging year, and it has been, I would say, over the past decade. The inconsistency of snowfall makes it hard for us to pitch the snowmobiling and the cross-country skiing, especially. Because we just don't know, and the consumers downstate are, they're wary. And the other challenge is when snow doesn't fall downstate, people aren't thinking about skiing or outdoor activities in the snow. You could still be golfing in Lansing or Detroit or Grand Rapids, and we're on the ski hills. It's just been so bizarre. But, despite all that, Traverse City has an excellent downhill ski product. Crystal Mountain has been absolutely fabulous this year, and we've got a great indoor product. So a lot of people were still coming up to see the wineries, to go to their favorite restaurants. So we have a lot to still do. We don't board up the shops in the wintertime. We had a very successful winter.
Well, it is tremendous, and you're right. It was a challenge, and even bigger challenge in some other areas. I got very lucky when I went up to my place on the east side of the state. It seemed to snow the day I showed up, and then started to melt the day I left, which was perfect because I'm an outdoor guy. But a lot of places weren't quite that fortunate. So let's talk about highlights from 2022.
Yeah. Well, we had a good year. So we just had our annual meeting a couple weeks back, and we talked a lot about these indicators on recovery from COVID. And, I can say with confidence that we've bounced back. We're not completely back to where we were prior to COVID. Grand Traverse County occupancy was around 62% prior to COVID. We're at about 60% annually. So we've got room to grow, and we think we've got potential in bringing back more conferences and meetings like we used to have pre-COVID. So we've got opportunity. Plus, we've got new hotels coming in market. The True by Hilton just opened up. We're going to have a Residence Inn open up this year, an Avid Hotel, and then a boutique right on East Bay called Alexandra. So we've got some new inventory, which is fun, and we know we'll fill it in summertime, but it's the other 3 seasons that we work very hard to try to make sure that these businesses are sustainable, people are fully employed, and small business continues to churn here in Traverse City year round.
Yeah, so that brings me to this question, because everybody is suffering from people shortage of, getting them, retaining them, etc. So how are your members contending with that?
Well, we talk a lot about that in the boardroom. We've got a very thoughtful group of individuals who help lead this organization strategically. And I will say a lot of them have taken leadership among their ranks. You've seen Grand Traverse Resort and Spa start to build additional housing for workers. You've seen the same at Crystal Mountain. There's others who are doing it behind the scenes who don't like to talk very openly about it. They'd rather just do the right thing and create an environment where people can live and enjoy a healthy lifestyle here in Traverse City. But housing is a challenge, childcare is a challenge, and so we're constantly evaluating ways that we can engage in this. Traverse City Tourism partners with our member properties to offer their employees access to the Tri-Share program in our state, which allows Traverse City Tourism to cover a third of childcare costs. The individual covers a third, and the state covers a third. So it significantly reduces the cost for childcare for those employees. So we're looking at all the angles because we want people to have an opportunity to live here and thrive here. And you got to come at it from a lot of different angles. But we are like everywhere else in America, we are short-staffed, and that's going to take a while to fix.
Well, it is for everybody, as a matter of fact. And just get on my horse here. We got to do something about immigration reform, because in your industries in particular.
Yeah, I love where you're going with this. In our hospitality industry, there is so much demand during certain parts of the year, summer and winter, depending on what type of property you run or what type of destination you are. We never have enough population to cover these positions. It doesn't matter how much you pay, there just aren't enough people. So immigration is a really important topic. We rely on H-2B and J-1 visas, and I'm optimistic we'll continue to make progress with the federal government on these issues.
Well, and I want to ask you about not only the talent thing, but the inflation, and if we could get the Fed to maybe back up. Maybe this will be their last quarter point, I'm hoping. But what are you enthused about here in this last minute for 2023 spring?
Yeah, well, events are back. I mean, we are busting at the seams. I can see it already. We've got, the Bayshore Marathon's coming up in May. We've got Cherry Festival's back, full blown, ready to go. So I'm feeling good about this summer. I think it's going to be a spectacular spring, summer. And like I said, those meetings coming back online are going to help fill our need times, make us, more solvent, make us, take full advantage of the assets we have in our town to make sure everyone's doing well and those small businesses stay viable into the future.
Well, Trevor Tkach, it's always good to spend time with you, President and CEO of Traverse City Tourism, and we'll be back because we need periodic updates.
I love it. Thank you.
All right, bud. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris.